Well, hello there, health coaches. We are back for a Coach the Coach session. Haven't done one of these in a minute, so I'm happy to be here with Melissa, who is one of our weekly mentorship members. Thanks for being here, Melissa.
Oh, I'm excited to talk to you one-on-one, Michelle. This is
Well, it is a perk of mentorship that you guys get an
Mhm.
opportunity to do a little one-on-one with me live right here with everybody. So if you are with us live, don't be shy. Say hello. You can ask questions as we go along. Melissa and I are going to have a little conversation today. And like I said, this is a perk of being part of weekly mentorship. We meet every single week live. So I do have an idea of what Melissa's doing in her business. And the wait list is now open if you would like to join us. You got to get on the wait list. That's all there is to do at this point. You can't join. Enrollment's not quite open yet. Later this summer, it will be. But for now, you can go to healthcoachpower.com/mentorship. So, Melissa, tell us what's going on in your world. How can I help you today?
Okay. Well, to start with, I coach women with diabetes, and their focus, based on type 2 diabetes, is their desire to lose weight. And I obviously slip in blood sugar in there because that's definitely something that I know a lot about. I live with type 1 diabetes myself, and I love the opportunity to be able to help women just kind of normalize what they're eating and what they're doing every day to feel good.
Okay, so you're living with type 1 diabetes, you're working with women who have type 1 and type 2, or mostly type 2?
Well, I have both. So maybe
Okay.
that's part of what we'll dive into today. I have helped both. I have helped women in both circumstances or diagnosis.
Okay. And now I do want to get back to that. I'm interested about that. And the problem is what?
I think, which is why I continue to be so attached to you, Michelle, and all of your teachings. I've learned so much over the years. Only wished I'd found you sooner or plugged in sooner, but we can't change what we didn't do. So I'm just real happy to have a plan now around. I know I need to do a better job at communicating and making myself, I guess, making my coaching more approachable to more women. So reaching and speaking to them is what's
And
missing. Yeah.
that's what's missing. So
I think that's missing.
You're doing a better job than you were. And yet you told me before we hit record that you're feeling frustrated. You said, I should have a wait list by now.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. And as we all know, as coaches, or you don't even have to be a coach to know this, how prevalent pre-diabetes and type 2 is, and how it leads to so many other health conditions that many of us, it's all kind of intertwined as far as what people are suffering with. But this is a specific diagnosis in a lot of cases. So, and it can be it is a scare from the doctors. I mean, some women handle it differently and process it differently. But I really think it's, I don't know. I think there's too much, there's a lot of information out there too. So I think that might be part of the problem that people have when they really don't know what their first step is. So they tend to maybe not do anything, or realizing that there's help out there.
Yeah, why don't they realize that you're there? Why don't you have a line a mile long outside your door? Because this is, what is the statistic? I heard by 2030, 30% of Americans will be diabetic or pre-diabetic.
Yeah,
That's a lot of
easily.
people. Are you going
It's
to
a
have
lot of
enough
people.
time for all of them?
I know. I may need to hire help, right?
We'd like
Hire
to
some
get you to that
assistance.
point. We would like to get you to that point. So, okay, let me ask you a couple questions. You've been in business for how many years now?
6 years.
6 years. Now, I'm
Six
thinking back
years.
to when I had been in business for about 6 years. And, you know, no one's an overnight success. There's always that
No,
joke, the overnight
no.
success, it took 20 years to get here kind of thing. So at 6 years, where would you like to be with your business? Like, why don't you feel like you've made the progress that you want to have made? Since I'm sure in the beginning you had 0 clients and were doing nothing in your
Right.
business, and now you're doing lots of stuff.
Right, right. I think I was trying too many different things when I started out. I didn't even have a niche, believe it or not. I wasn't even focusing on women with diabetes when I first started. So yeah, I graduated from IIN 2016, and with no real direction. So, but I think that was part of the process too, because we kind of have to learn about ourselves and how we work with people. So I think there was a lot of value in those years learning. But I think with where I want to be is to really be able to help women. I know that there's just these are some women that I'm meeting. These are people that in some cases know me, but there's still that disconnect that I have what they need to take that next step. So I really think once I think I'm more clear and more direct about that, I think it will be easier, to attain more clients. I would like 8 or 10 at a time would be nice. I don't think any more of that at this point. I would like to do programs where I can kind of automate some of these, this material, that I share with one-on-one clients.
Okay. So 8 to 10 clients at a time. That's important. We need like a way of measuring our success. And you said, like, I want to help women. And I wanted to say, I know you are helping women. You have worked with clients, certainly. Mm-hmm. You have mailing lists, you have an audience, you're doing things all the time. So you are helping women. So you could say, check, you did it. But yet it doesn't feel that way because
it's not consistent, right? I think that's what we want as coaches, is we want to know that we want to find that formula. And it almost we want it on autopilot. We want it to just kind of hum along. And I know it takes time and it takes work, and I'm willing to do the work, but I think that is really what it is. It's the not knowing, when clients finish up, and when I've had as many as 6, 7, 8 at a time. Clients, coaching at one time, one-on-one. And then when their program ends and things continue, things don't continue with them. It's just the peaks and valleys. And that's kind of unsettling,
We want the constant flow. Right. A business should be feeding, almost like an engine that just keeps feeding new prospective clients our way. Yeah. Okay. Where do you think, if you think of it like plumbing, and you have to figure out where the clog is. We know that at the far end of the pipe, there's a lot of people with diabetes. And then where do you think the clog is in them getting to you and becoming a client? Are they getting to your mailing list, but not moving beyond that? Are you having a hard time finding them in the first place?
I think it's a little bit of both of what you just said. My mailing list is somewhat consistent. I think I am reaching them better now with the with the freebies and the opt-ins that I'm doing. It's not troves of people or women, but it's a little bit of a flow going in there. But they're obviously, they've been sitting on my list of some of them for years, and why they haven't progressed to that next step is what's got me stumped. There's something missing. There's something not quite resonating with them, to give me a call, to take that next step.
Well, you know what? It's pretty common for some people to just sit on your list forever. Right. Like there are like the list sitters. I would say that's just a personality type. That's a type of person. And for whatever reason, they're never going to make another move. So I'm interested in how we can get you in front of more women who have diabetes in general. And of course, more women who have diabetes who are ready, willing, and able to make a move. How are you getting yourself in front of new eyeballs, new women who have diabetes?
Right. I'm not. I guess that is the problem.
Bingo.
I haven't. Besides just marketing online, that's all I've been doing this past year.
And marketing online, I mean, that could certainly be getting you in front of new people, but are you referring to like your own social media, posting to your own accounts?
Right.
This is what coaches you guys are all doing this. I posted to Instagram however many times and nobody follows up with wanting to book a call.
Right.
So let's just do some brainstorming. Let's pretend that we're talking about someone else's business, a third person who is not here right now. Let's call them Christine, because I've noticed it's much easier to
talk about someone else
and talk about somebody else's business when it's not so personal, right? So Christine wants to get, and if you're watching live, also throw your ideas into the chat. Christine wants to get in front of every woman in America, lots of women in America who have diabetes. Where could Christine potentially go to find them? I mean, the first thing that comes to mind are medical facilities, doctors. Now, you living with diabetes, tell me where else they might be.
Right. You know, depending on the woman, right? And depending on the age. I prefer to work with women my own age, which is midlife, and, you know, 40 and above. Mm-hmm. And, you know, I think that's been my stuck point, because I've done the workshops, I've done the health fairs. They don't always attract the people that fit our ideal client avatar, you know, all that. So that's where I'm stuck. I mean, I've thought about yoga studios. I've thought about spas. I just came up with another idea today, because I did this a couple of years ago. Somebody just put an idea in my head. It's like, remember. So, you know, type 2 diabetes, to educate. There's a lot of people, somebody told me today that she was just very confused as what the difference between type 1 and type 2 is. And a lot of people, even when they're diagnosed, they don't understand it. So to do some sort of, it's mind-boggling, but it's true. There is that confusion out there. So to do some sort of an educational seminar, workshop, or whatever, just to be able to find, I do have access, and I've got to get off of my tail and do something about it. You know, there's a chiropractic office that is close to us that we are friends with the owners. You know, we have connections there. Mm-hmm. My church community, I've done workshops there, so I could definitely reconnect with those. So the brainstorming is there, or I should say, I'm able to brainstorm.
Well, remember, we're brainstorming for Christine.
We are.
So
we are. My gosh, can't forget about Christine.
I'm sure she has access to a church community. I'm sure she has access to a yoga studio or a spa, or really anywhere that you're going to find women.
Women,
a solid, whatever, 10 to 30% of them are going to be dealing with diabetes. What about other things that are more specific? So everyone in this audience would be diabetes specific. Are there, and again, you'll have to tell me, are there websites, blogs, places online dedicated to diabetes management?
Yes. And I am connected with those. So there is an app, it's called the Diabetes app. So I'm actually one of the administrators on there. This is stuff I haven't told you before.
I did not know this.
I know. So I'm one of the admins on there. And the other one is DiaStrong. I'm just throwing names out there, but this is it's a IntelliHealth specifically to serve all types of diabetics, and not just women, all ages. So I'm one of the providers on there as a health coach. They are just starting out. They're very early. And this is interesting, because this kind of comes back around to what people are willing to do as far as taking steps and spend money. Mm-hmm. So this is, and they are having trouble getting people to come on board and to hire, you know, the dietitians, the diabetes educators. It's a beautiful platform, and it's very accessible to anybody. So, you know, I guess I can't.
They're starting out, so they don't have a big audience yet.
Right.
I'm thinking something like Prevention Magazine, or you know, a site where people, or a publication, a print publication, where most or all of their readers are dealing with diabetes.
With some sort of,
Is there a diabetes magazine? Is there a?
Yes. Yeah, there is a Diabetes Advocate is one. There's a Diabetes Sisters organization. I'm a member there as well.
Tell me about that. What's the Sisters organization?
Well, it's a good organization. It's just a little bit more corporate run. So there's a lot of rules and stipulations. So yeah, I don't get the warm and fuzzy with them. I'm being honest. So again, I'm part of the membership. I'm part of the community, but it's never really opened doors so far. That doesn't mean it can't, though. It doesn't mean it can't.
So I can totally see, like, if as health coaches, we want to pitch ourselves to like work with a, have a doctor refer patients to us, or in this case, work with some organization that seems to be more medically focused. And we can, well, we're not an RD, right? Why are they going to listen to us? What are some things, though, that we can offer without saying, here's what you should eat and this many grams of this and this many grams of that? Would they be open to something around the holidays where you're showing how to make treats that are lower in sugar?
Right. Perfect. Yeah. Yeah. And, another part of a lot of these organizations, because it's not just the diet that they're supporting people with, but it's the lifestyle, it's the mindset and the confidence, which really it can deteriorate for a lot of people. So that sort of mentoring really does help. And that's where I'm different, because I know I have that secret sauce. I mean, I've been taking insulin for 40 years. I know just a little bit about this. I know the ups and downs. I've been there. I've lived it. I'm still living it. So I think I come from such a very unique spot to be able to help and serve, because I get it. And that's really the area I want to be able to be a lot more transparent about. And I don't know that I have been with my marketing and the way I'm coming across.
Okay, well, I want you to do that. And I want you to do that for Diabetes Magazine and for the Diabetes Sisters organization. Like right now we're in June. So if you were to reach out, even just cold reach out, or if you have contacts at these places, what do you guys have planned for the rest of you? What does your editorial calendar look like? Are you accepting guest articles? Could I write a column? What would you think about a diabetes friendly recipe book for your members this holiday season? If you're in June and you're asking them about 3 months, 6 months, maybe even 12 months from now, they might be able to say, yeah, that would be perfect for the holiday season. How about a column where we talk about the more holistic approach to diabetes? You guys do a great job with the nutrition. Lie if you have to. You guys do a great job with the nutrition. I'd love to bring a holistic spin. Would you have, a space in your editorial calendar for that? Pitch these ideas. Fine. And then you want to go where you think about your woman. She's like 45 years old. She just got diagnosed with diabetes, type 2 diabetes. She comes home. She has no idea where to start. And she just types in like, what to do with diabetes, how to handle diabetes. And you want to be in those places that she's finding, if at all possible. And I feel like if you wanted to be in Shape magazine, that's hard. But if you want to be in Diabetes magazine, that's a heck of a lot easier because it's so niche.
Yeah.
And you have an in. You have obviously your personal story and you're an expert in this and you can provide great content. Publications need that. What about podcasts, Melissa?
Yes. Yeah, that's another good one. And I've got to take the steps. Why am I holding back? Why am I not jumping in? There's the diabetes app just started a podcast, brand new, a couple months old, which is actually the perfect time because they're looking for guests.
Yeah.
And it's called Just My Type, which is very cute. So yes, and it's for type 1 and type 2. Diabetes. Yeah, there's definitely some podcasts now that you remember. Diabetes Daily Grind is another good one. So yeah.
Pitch.
Raise
and
my
you
hand.
have to remember that, and I can tell you this as a podcaster myself, especially if you're a podcast that relies on guests, you always need guests. So it doesn't matter if you don't have a PhD after your name. You've been living with diabetes for 40 years. You got a great story to tell just in and of that. And then of course, the work that you're doing with women. Look in their podcast catalog. What have they done episodes on? See what's missing. And you can say, hey, I noticed you haven't done an episode about
great point.
How meditation can help. I'm just making this up, or how stress relief plays into diabetes management. I would love to, bring that to your show. Do you think that's something your listeners might be interested in?
Right.
Show them that you have listened to their show. You've noticed something either they have done before and it seems well received, or they haven't done before and it's like missing, and pitch them an idea. And the worst thing that happens is they never respond.
Right. Yeah. You don't know till you try, right?
And you'd be really surprised, because most people are doing exactly what you said, Melissa. They're just not doing it, whether it's fear or lack of time, or for whatever reason, they're not pitching. So when you reach out, it can be like, yes, we need this. And they're not going to ask you, where did you go to school? What are your credentials? They just want to have a great, engaging show.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I think
points.
you rattled off a handful of diabetes podcasts, and I'm sure there are many more. If you do a search, you'll find them.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
good points.
You're going to get more people in your world looking at you as an expert, fresh eyes all the time, if you can position yourself in front of these diabetes audiences. I mean, we've just been talking about publications and podcasts, but you could also think about organizations, groups that you might do speaking events for. I mean, endless possibilities there. But another thing you had mentioned was like going to like the yoga studio or your church, where a percentage of people there have diabetes.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't think that that's a bad idea, because so many people have diabetes,
Right.
but I think you might approach it slightly differently. Like you wouldn't go to like the yoga studio and have like, diabetes friendly holiday treats, because like not everybody needs that.
Mm-hmm.
But I wonder, okay, only a certain percentage of them will have diabetes, but what percentage of the people at like a yoga studio have someone in their family or someone close to them that has diabetes?
Oh, probably 100%.
Probably.
Because we all know somebody.
Probably. Yeah. And if you're talking to this age group, like over 40, where people are starting to get diagnoses and might be feeling scared, I was just thinking, what if you went in with a workshop or a talk, just like, what is diabetes? Or like understanding diabetes for you and your loved ones. And that's where you get the questions like, what's the difference between type 1 and type 2?
Yeah.
Educate in the populations that are not already immersed. And then you can go to populations that are immersed and offer them resources. And between the two, I feel like you could have, 10 times more eyeballs on you than you do right now, right away.
Yeah. Helpful.
All right. So
Very
in
helpful.
The next week, do you think you could at least put together a list of venues, publications, podcasts that you're going to reach out to?
Yes. As soon as I get off this call with you, I will do that. And it's so easy to get a piece of paper and pencil out. And that's one of the things that you shared in Fast Track too, is how to follow up with podcast guests and publications. So I will go back to those notes because they're there. And definitely.
And implement. And you know what? Since it's the summer, you cannot promise me get discouraged if you don't hear back, because it's a combination of just normal, busy everything and vacations. So your job will be reach out to them. Like if this week you make your list, maybe next week you're doing your outreach, and follow up throughout the summer, because you're going to have somebody that's like away for a month. They're not going to get your email, and it's going to get brushed under the rug. So I wouldn't be shy about doing several follow-ups and
persistent.
Exactly. And you can do that by email, but if you can find them on social media, if they have like an Instagram account, follow them there, leave some comments, like be visible in their world. True. And that is also helpful. And then awesome. I think in the fall, we'll be having a different conversation.
Yes. That would be great. Yeah.
I really appreciate your vulnerability and opening up about how frustrating it can be to be doing this work. And I know you're doing the work. You're not just sitting on your laurels and still not seeing the return, but it's coming when you get a little more strategic about how you spend your time.
Yeah, exactly.
Thank you for being here.
Great points. Thank you, Michelle.
And for everybody listening, if you'd like to be part of our weekly mentorship group and have the opportunity for a one-on-one session with me, like I just did with Melissa, please go ahead and put your name on the wait list at healthcoachpower.com/mentorship. Thanks a lot, you guys. We'll see you next time. Bye.